well received all over the world. And today, I mean, like every day, every time we come in, we're going to share, some story of drive, resilience, triumph, and greatness. And it's going to be amazing because we have one of our guests today is actually in Germany, and we are going to have a great discussion with her. She's inspiring, and she's an international speaker, an author, and a motivational speaker as well, and certified coach. And she, at the same time, works in the medical industry. So, as you can see, she's multi-talented. And she's a woman with, several gifts, and she's passionate about what she does. And she has the ability to, as she said it, to take the unmotivated, the rejected, and those feeling, like they don't belong into, healthy and thriving, persons. So she believed that, whichever skills and talent you have, is to benefit you and the community around you. And today we have Dr. Leah Reddig with us. She understood that it's not about what title you have and where you come from, but more about how the gift that God has given you. And she's going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about, she's going to drive us through how we can how we can know ourselves and understand who you are and understand the gift that we have and how we can serve our communities. So let's start and welcome Dr. Leah Reddig.
Is it all right? Okay, let's get started right into it. And that is the power of labels, right?
On memories, but as I got older, I started to be more aware of some of the abusive sides of
So, welcome, Dr. Leah Reddig. How are you? How is everything today?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mirella. Everything is fine today. The sun has come out, even though it's been a little bit of a cold weather, raining this season, but we don't complain. We still kind of appreciate that we can still be able to see a little bit of the sun just rising up. And thank you very much for having me in your station. Thank you very much.
Okay, welcome. And again, for those who are joining us today, we have a special guest, Dr. Leah Anita Reddig, and she's going to talk, we're going to talk about how, we discover ourselves. And basically the question that she's going to ask us is that, who are you? And she wrote a book, with the same title. And we're going to understand, her philosophy and what, this book is all about. But before we go there, I just want to Dr. Leah, for you to introduce yourself and to tell us, who you are and what you are doing, and how you came to do what you do right now.
Thank you very much, Mirella. So as you have already introduced me, I'm Dr. Leah Anita Reddig. I am based in Germany. I am a mom of two. Today, I can proudly say that I am a warrior, a prayer warrior. I am an ambassador for many people who actually would ever thought that they cannot make it. So I can confidently say that because I am a testimony of one of them. And I am working in clinical industry. So I work in the medical device industry. And at the same time, I began my new journey as an author, motivational speaker, and a life coach.
Okay, all right. So we have quite a few people watching tonight. I mean, there's Janelle. Janelle is there. Thank you for supporting Dr. Leah. Hey, so she's there to support you. We have Rosalind as well, and here to support you. And hopefully we're gonna have some other people, but they're probably a bit late today. So just to start the discussion, you've been like you said, you've been working in the medical area and now starting a new journey. So what drives you to start this new journey from going from medical to now coaching and writing?
That's a very good question. And I am not completely leaving my career in the medical industry. I am just taking up that experience that I've had and just putting it out there to be able to enable and to help other people, other women, other young ladies, young adults, people of all walks that have realized probably they've come to a place where they're giving up, or they've just realized probably they cannot go beyond where they are. Why? Because of different circumstances, or maybe because somebody spoke something into their lives, where else that you can be able to break that chain. And so that is why I've been on a journey where I have realized sometimes there are things and there are purposes that have been put in us that are supposed to be shared out with people, no matter how busy we are doing other things. But there are those skills, there are those talents, there are those things that God has put in us, that has incubated in us, that needs now to be birthed out so that it can help somebody else to move to the next level. Because like why I write the book, Who Are You? The book Who Are You was birthed in the season of, I was invited to co-author in a book called Stepping Into Our Territory. And when we started this journey with this project of Stepping Into Our Territory, thank you very much to Ms. Janelle Harris, the CEO of She Exists, I began to realize something in me, that it was coming out. And most of these were notes that I used to like jot down, when I'm doing my prayer, when I'm doing my, the one time session for me, myself. And so I kind of put this together. And when I came to this journey of stepping into our territories, I had to choose a title for my book. And so as I was thinking through, the only thing that came to me was grace. And so when I saw the grace, then I began kind of to think about, what is grace to me? And who am I to deserve this grace? And that is how also the book, Who Are You, was birthed in that session. And before even the stepping into our territory, I had already attended a motivational educational conference of a friend of mine who has been helping people to create wealth in the Christian kingdom, in the kingdom wealth, as we call it. And she began by helping people to see their identity, to understand their identity. Because if you don't understand who you are, you cannot be able to move forward, because you will be finding yourself living people's purposes, because somebody might come and say, oh, you cannot do that because you're not qualified for that, or you cannot go to this place because this is how it is. Then it kind of get into your mind and you begin to think about it. The Bible says, as a man thinketh, so they are. And so when these things begin to run into your mind, you kind of blocked. It becomes an obstacle to you. But when you realize who you are, no matter what, no matter where you are, you can begin to walk your purpose. And that begins when you begin to realize the power in you, the strength in you, the authority in you, because it is grace that gives us all that. We just don't have it, even to those people who probably might not be Christian, religious, or whatever. There is still that purpose that God put in them, because it is only God who enables human beings to be born, to come into this world. So as you are being birthed, there is a purpose He has put in you. And in whatever way it comes out, even those who are successful today, they realized who they are to work that purpose, to reach to that level where they are in. And so for me, there were so many aspects in life, in my journey, that enabled me to realize who I am. And, I realized the strength that is in me. I realized that there is this purpose of motivating people, encouraging people, because our lives are a testimony. Because I can only give what I have experienced, because that is what I know how. I cannot say, okay, I will make you a doctor, or I will make you an anesthesi, or I will make you, a surgeon, and I've never done anything to do with surgery or whatever. But I can tell you that you can make it when you begin to realize who you are, begin to understand what is your purpose in life. What are your goals in life? What is your vision? Because when you begin to look at these things, you begin to have that self-realization. Then you begin to develop yourself in that direction. And when you begin to develop yourself in that direction, you begin to grow. You begin to understand the full purpose of you as a person. Then you are able to give it to somebody else as an example, as a motivation, as an encouragement. You're lifting somebody up who is actually down there, who doesn't see the purpose in life, doesn't see why they can, move from A to B, or how they can go through the life cycle. And so that is how I became into writing the book, Who Are You?
So it's, I hope people are listening here. This is so powerful what she's saying, is that, we need to understand who we are before we can actually move forward. And that's something that, sometimes we forget to do. We tend to be distracted by what's happening, outside of us, and really focusing on, all those obstacles that we have around us, and forgetting to go back inside, to go back to God, and get, to understand who we are and what's the purpose that, he gave us, and use it to build ourselves and to build others. So powerful, so powerful. So, it's just starting really well, and let's just put a video for a break, and we'll come back in and continue this discussion. And Dr. Leah is just starting really amazingly this show, and it's amazing what she's saying.
Thank you.
Your heart is tarnished black and blue. Betrayal is a feeling, not a word anymore. And you won't fall in love again. You've opened up too many times to be let down once more. And you say, I'll build a wall around myself.
So you wrote those, Dr. Leah wrote 3 books, but today we're gonna focus on, the book, Who Are You? To understand, she's gonna help us to see how we can understand who we are, how we can, be aware of our gift, and really use those gifts to build ourselves
Yes.
and to help, people around us in our community. So you explain really powerfully, why we need to go back to our purpose and what's the impact. But sometimes, people don't know how to do that. So that's why I wanted to ask you, what are, the strategies, and how do you discover who you are? What do you need to do? Because, when you're stuck, sometimes you don't know what to do. So what strategy do you think work, and how people can actually start to discover what they have inside of them, and define their purpose?
That is a very good question, Miraela, because one strategy that people have to understand is that you have to know your vision. What is my vision? Put it down. Put it down so that you can be able to look at it and you can be able to break it down. Ask yourself, in this vision, what talents or skills do I have? Because with every talent and skill, it is a tool that you can multiply, that you can work your vision through. Because that is what is in you. That is what you can do. If you are somebody who understands, people's crisis, or you understand people's life, or you understand certain branch of life, or a business, or wherever thing it is, you can begin from there. You can begin to ask yourself, so how can I multiply this into something that will build up somebody else, or that will build me up, that I can develop with it, that I can grow with it, that even when tomorrow I go out there and say, you can make it in this industry, you can make it in this thing, you can make it in that. You just need to put focus. How do I do it? That thing is your mindset. You have to watch your mind, because the battle is always in the mind. Everything is what we think about. It's in our mind. We build it in our mind. Before we finish building it in our mind, then it goes inside us. So when your mind begins to think and to exercise the things that you've put down, you begin to work it out. Because then your soul, your spirit is being stirred inside to work that out. Most of the time we hear mindset, change your mindset. That is a strategy when you already know this is what I want to do. But then you have all the distractions. You have, sometimes it doesn't work the way you wanted it to work. Go back and revisit that vision, that, that skill, that whatever purpose or point you had put down. Look at it again. Look at it differently. The fourth point is, never be shy to ask for help, because you find we can never do things on our own. We are not an island. For me, I can say, I had these books in me, but I could never put them down. I could never think of becoming, an author, writing a book. It was a lot of work for me. But when Miss Janelle Harris made the call on Facebook and say she's looking for people to collaborate in writing a book, I knew this is the chance I have to be able to see and to bring to pass this writing, this authorship, this motivation, this thing that has been stirring inside me to motivate other people. And so when I started working with her, things began to fall into place, because she walked me through certain areas that I wouldn't look at them the way she was looking at them. So I could be able to look, this is what I'm supposed to do. I don't need to take a whole of my time, because I'm a mother, I'm an employee, and this is something that I want to grow. into, because it is something that is in me. It is a purpose in me to motivate people. Why? Because there was a point in time in life where I never thought I could make it anywhere. I never thought I could be the person I am today. And it was because, the circle I was with was speaking a different mindset than what God had already spoken about me. So I was kind of brushing it. But when you realize, I am not here to fulfill a man's purpose. I am here to fulfill God's purpose. There is something authentic about me that God has given me. It might not be the same thing like you, but my experience can help you to grow into your own experience. It can back your experience into something else. It can direct you to see if she could make it, because we are all not different from birth to where we are. We are all at one point born. We are all at one point taught how to walk. We are all at one point taught how to speak. We are all at one point learned to go to school. Probably not everybody will go to school, but it doesn't mean that your life is over. There is something about you that is authentic, that is special, that you can still use, because it is something that you have been given that is only special for you. It is a purpose that you can fulfill. There are people who are, high-tech gigs. I am not, that is something I cannot do. And so when you begin to look at things in that direction, you begin to realize I can put one brick at a time, one step at a time. As I learned how to grow, they say, as a young babe, you suckle the mother's breast, then you grow into the next level. You take one step at a time. Everything comes into place because you are focusing. You're not losing that goal. When things fall apart, it doesn't mean that you, because it did not work the way you wanted, or it looks like a failure, it means it's the end of it. So you cannot wake up. No, that is also something that you can take and use it and build back that what you think was destroyed, because it is just a lesson for you to see, okay, so what did I not do, or how did I not work it the way I'm supposed to work it to be able to achieve what I was supposed to achieve. And so when you kind of always go back, because this is a journey. Self-realization is not something you do today and tomorrow the world looks different. It is a continuous journey. You learn every day something new about yourself. So you are growing every day into that person, fulfilling that purpose. Until the end, you will continue to learn. You will continue to realize things about you. That is why they say, the older people become wiser and the younger can learn from the older. Why? Because they've gone through that journey. They've experienced steps and levels in life where they can say, my child, my son, my daughter, this is what you should avoid. This is the walk you should go, and also you have to circle yourself with people of the same mind, because if you have yourself in a circle where there is always negativity, only negativity is what is going to grow up. You will never see anything positive, no matter what. Even when a positive thing is in front of you, you will never see it, because all you know is that negative part. But when you are circling with yourself with people who are positive, they know whether the day the sun is shining or it is raining, it is still a day to build something. It is still a day to grow. In Europe, we have the 4 seasons. You have summer, you have winter, you have autumn, you have spring. Doesn't mean that life ends when it is winter. It doesn't mean that life ends when it's autumn. There is always going on, growing, building, working towards the purpose, towards the goal. And so that is how you can constantly, keep focused on your goals, keep focused on your journey, on your purpose. And I was just thinking, when you asked about strategy in my book, I just wanted to maybe read an excerpt of tips you can use to maximize your potential. Number one, never think or speak negatively about yourself. Wake up. I might not have the best of the best, but I wake up, I look at myself in the mirror and I say, I know I am beautiful, I am strong, I have authority, and I'm stepping into this day. I am commanding this day into my hands that I will accomplish that what I'm supposed to accomplish today. I am commanding the day because I am speaking that which is in me to come to life. Then you have to meditate. Meditate on, the goodness of the Lord, the goodness that you already have. Meditate on the strength that you have. I might be strong in, listening. Look at, take things, materials, or, educational videos. Listen to that. Listen to what people who are wise are talking on how to build yourself. You can meditate on it. For Christian, I always say, look for verses that speak to you, that you can confess every morning and say, this is who I am. Don't compare yourself with other people. You don't know their journey until they speak their journey to you. Just take your journey and say, they have made it. Look at what they have done. Use it as a tool to build yours at that moment. Don't compare yourself with anybody. Be thankful of where you are, because when you begin to have a positive attitude, a gratitude heart, you can begin to rejoice, and from the joy inside, you build something out of that. Focus on your potential, not your limitations. Because many a times as human beings, we focus on the limitation. I see a potential, but I'm concentrated so much on the limitations that the potential disappears in between. Focus on the potential. Begin to ask yourself, this potential, how can I use it to overcome all these limitations? When I came to Germany, as an example, I didn't know any one word of German. It was green to me. And in German, it is very rare to be in a circle of people who are speaking English. It is very difficult to say that I will get a job just like that if I don't know the language. So for me, the language was a limitation. But I said to myself, I will not concentrate on not knowing the language. Instead, I will position myself to learn the language. And then from learning the language, I will go back into the job industry, because I don't need to know it 100% because it's not my mother tongue. So I will never know it 100%, but I can be able to express myself. I can be able to speak my mind, to speak myself. The next thing is have courage to be different. We are not the same in nature. So be courageous just to be different. Don't feel like it is a big thing to be different. In fact, when you're different, it is even more enriching because you're bringing something to the table. You're not just bringing the same meal to the table, you're bringing something different to the table. Determine your worth and appreciate that you are valuable in life, because everybody has value. And so it is important just to be able, those are just bits and pieces that I have in the book of who are you, that somebody can begin to use and begin to think about so that you can build yourself from where you are, because it is never too late. It is never too late. The only time it is late for you is when you die. But as long as you're alive, you can always build yourself, build something from where you are.
Wow, I'm just, I don't know what to say. I hope, whoever is watching now or the replay, please appreciate this. Those are impressive and powerful nuggets that Dr. Leah is giving us today. And, it's very important that we write them down and we understand that, those are key strategy for us to know where we are and to help us to go to the next step and to reach self-actualization. And I'm just going to mention few of the strategy that you just shared with us. The first one was we need to know our vision, because otherwise without that we can't even start, we can't even go anywhere, we're just static. So that's one thing. And then know what talents and skills that we have in this vision, so that we know what we need and how we can equip ourselves to get what we don't have, or to use what we have. And you also mentioned the mindset, which is a very important part, because you said that the battle happens in our mind, and we really need to have the right mindset and set ourselves ready in the mindset to go forward and to look at things in a positive way. And you also mentioned the fact that even if we have everything, there's sometimes we need help, and we shouldn't be shy to ask for help, because that's part of the process, and that's also a strategy, because we don't have everything. We have certain gifts that God has given us, but another person has another gift that can actually help us in a situation where we don't know, and we shouldn't be ashamed to ask. And the key thing and the powerful one that I really like is that we are here to fulfill God's purpose. And I think a lot of us don't understand that. We're trying to listen to, I don't know, anybody else except God. And we don't realize that we are failing because of that, and we're not progressing because of that. So it's important that we understand that God has put a purpose in us, and we need to fulfill this purpose. It is when we fulfill this purpose that we are on the way to self-actualization, and to make an impact as well in our community. And so that's the self-realization part. And make sure that we have the right people around us, because if we are surrounded by negativity, then it doesn't serve our purpose. So we really need to make sure that we have people around us that are positive, that are helping us, and even when we fail, they're here to encourage us and really push us to go to the next level. And the other thing is to just stay focused and focus on our goals, focus on our purpose, and not compare ourselves to other people, and be thankful for what we have. And I really love what you were saying about speaking our own, understand that we're beautiful, we have everything that we have, and appreciate that, and be grateful about what God has given us, and start from there before we can go and look at the other person. So it's just amazing what's going on here today. I'm really learning a lot, and I'm really inspired. And so let's have a small break, and we will come back and talk to Dr. Leah again. So we are back. We are back with the inspiring Dr. Leah here. She's been giving us so many nuggets and inspiring, and inspiring tips for us to know who we are, understand our purpose, and really understand that, we have special gifts. We have a purpose that God has given us, has put into
Yes.
us, and we need to understand what it is and go out and live for this purpose and focus on this purpose and make an impact where we
Yes.
can, and really, be positive about all of this. So, just want to, I think the comment box is on fire with Rosalind and Janelle. They've been, following really well, and and I'm just going to put some of them here. Yes, say that, make it plain. Exactly. I think there's,
Yes.
a lot of, they're really, yes, revisit your dream again. So you talked about, having to revisit our dream, especially when we fail, and not stop at the failure, but really looking at things differently, learn from it, and then revisit that our dreams. And Rosalind again, glory you need and meet with hallelujah. So a lot of action. I think they're all been inspired here. And now that we've talked about the strategies, and you've defined a little bit what it is, and so I just want to ask you, for anybody listening, for you, what is the key for success? I mean, when you know now who you are, you've implemented those strategies. What do you think is are the key to success?
So that's also a very good question. Key to success. Number one, you have to stay focused. You have to keep your goal and stay focused on it. Number two, continuously develop yourself, continuously be open and flexible to learn. Because, like I said before, we don't always know everything. Times change. We have seasons in life. We have seasons in a year where you need something refreshing. You need something new. You cannot put a new wine in an old wineskin. You have to get some new things. So be open and flexible to learn. And also the third thing to success is that be able to, multiply and share, because sometimes we think that if I know it, I don't want to share it. So, I have to be successful, but you're only successful when you share it and you see it also growing. You see it growing out there, because like a tree, you see the mahogany tree is stable because it grows its roots towards under the ground, it spreads itself. So you kind of spreading yourself because you are imparting one life after the other. You're blessing one life after the other. So you are succeeding, because one day, that's why we have people say, oh, so and so, quote from so and so, is because they gave a quote to give you something to think about. Because that quote helped them to succeed. And so they give it to you to think about. You look at this person, you say, this is my hero. Why? There is something about that person you have learned. So the openness and flexibility to learn from other people as well, and allow people to learn from you, is also a key to success, because you kind of learn things that you never thought you could learn them that way, or they could aspire or impact your life in a different way, or maybe bring a different multiplication to a different direction. So I think it's just generally being focused, continue working out your potential, open flexibility to learn from people. Those are my keys to success.
So very good, very good point and powerful point again. So the focus, which is important, you don't want to be, to look at different things. You have a purpose, you have a vision, stay focused on that. And the other thing is, to be open and flexible to learn. So, the learning is unlimited. There's a source there. It's, it never ends. So understand that. And what I like, and that's the part that sometimes we forget, is that when we've learned something, we have to share so that we can spread, we can expand. and we can build a legacy, because that's what it's all about.
Exactly.
Because, if we keep it for ourselves, it dies. As soon as we leave, it dies with us. So it's important to share it, and to make sure that, and by sharing, like you said, we grow as well, because when we share, we get something back.
Yes.
And it's food for us, and we are able to continue. So those are very key point that Dr. Leah just mentioned here as key for success for her. You might have other point. Just let us know in the comment if there's something that you think is we should add to those key points, key point for success. So I'm just gonna again show let you know that we are here with Dr. Leah. Dr. Leah is in Germany. She's amazing. She wrote a book called Who You Are, and this book is really amazing. It's about making sure that we understand our purpose, we understand who we are, and that we know that this purpose has been put into us by God, and really understand that it's unique to us, and we should really pursue this purpose so that we can make a difference in our life and in the life of other people. So we're going to have another break to put one of your video again, so that to remind people of your work and the book that you've written. So we are back. We are here with Dr. Leah, and she's been, talking about. We just finished talking about the key for success, and obviously, when we want to be successful, there's something behind it, and it's about legacy. And so I just want to know, Dr. Leah, what are your expectations for the future, and what legacy do you really want to know? I know you've started to work on this legacy, listening at what you said previously at the beginning of the show, but what else is there that you want to leave?
Yes, for me, what's important is that I want people to be empowered. Women, men, young adults, young generation, upcoming generation, to be empowered, that do not wait for somebody to motivate you. Do not wait for somebody to encourage you. Begin to motivate yourself. Begin to encourage yourself. Begin to realize that you have to make that first step before somebody identifies something in you. Because if you don't, nobody will know what you have until you are able to bring it out, until you speak it out. It doesn't matter where you are. I want especially women to come to that place and realize, in the Bible, we have the Proverbs 31 woman. Mm-hmm. That woman is a pillar. That woman is a hardworking woman, because she has sheep that she shears. She has a family that she's taking care of. She, as a prayerful woman, she is a warrior. So she is an intercessor at the same time. So she's a woman with various hats, yet she is still standing. That means you are giving birth and you are giving people a reason to live because you've given birth to something. And that is for me a legacy that people will rise up and realize that you don't have to wait for somebody to create something for you. Begin to create it. And then people will begin to see. Somebody might see it somewhere. You never know who is seeing because people are always watching. And then you will never know. One day, everything will be falling into place. You will be asking yourself, how did this happen? It's because you have put yourself out there. You've put your hand into something. It is not 100% that it will work, but still, you have put yourself out there. You're working out something. You're working your purpose. You're working your skill. You're multiplying yourself. And so it is important to know, I don't need to have a title. I don't need to have this or that. I just need to position myself, put myself out there.
Okay, so powerful, statement again. I don't need to have a title. I don't need to any of that. I just need to position myself. And sometimes we forget that. We're so lost into all the system about title. I mean, it starts at school where, they reward you, they reward us for, we are in a certain system and they reward us. And then sometimes we think because we're not, rewarded in this system, we don't have value. So it's important that we understand it goes beyond that. And, we have to position ourselves, whatever other people think, whatever the system that we are, that is blocking us. We need to position ourselves, start this journey, start this thing that we want to start, believe in ourselves, and take the first steps, and then it's gonna go, and people are gonna follow us. So powerful legacy, Dr. Leah. It's just amazing what we heard today. I hope you've been taking notes because there've been so much right now. But it's not all, it's not all finished. You can always connect with Dr. Leah after the show. She's going to tell us, how we can connect with her and let us know if she has something coming up, because she's so inspiring and exciting. I'm pretty sure you're going to want to, at least, attend one of her events, or at least read some of her books. So, Dr. Leah, how can we connect with you? And do you have any things coming up?
Yes, you can connect with me over my website, that is www.steppinggrace.com. Again, that is www.steppinggrace.com. You can find my books on my website. You can find my books on Amazon. You can find my books on lulu.com. And you can always also contact me via my email, that is leahanita.reddig@gmail.com. And you can ask for your books, and you will be able to receive once you are interested in either of the books. And you can always ask a question. You can find me on social media, that is on my Facebook page, Ask Dr. Leah, or on my Instagram page, Ask Dr. Leah, and we can always pick it up from there. So.
Okay, so fantastic. And it's been so, so inspiring and amazing to have you. Thank you for your insight, your contribution, your knowledge. And it's been, an amazing, an amazing discussion, and an essential one, because sometimes, we do things and we don't even know why we are doing them. So like you said, it's important that we know who we are. It's important that we know what is our purpose, that we have a vision, and and we act on those and focus on those, because if we're not focused, then it doesn't help us to go to the next step. And the other thing is, understand that we're not in this journey alone. If we are stuck, if we need help, we should always reach out, and we should understand that, we have to continue learning all the time. We can't stop. We have to learn. We have to keep going. and give back, because that's
Exactly.
also one of the key one is, with all this learning that we have, all this experience that we have, we need to give back so that we can grow
Exactly.
beyond ourselves, beyond border, and beyond time as well, because it's about leaving a legacy behind us. So it's
Exactly.
been an amazing show. Thanks for your contribution again, Dr. Leah. And I'm pretty sure, when people are going to watch the replay, or people who've been watching silently, they will connect directly with you. So for the audience, please connect with Dr. Leah. Make sure you check her books on Amazon and on Lulu as well, and please read them and understand her philosophy, because this is a very strong philosophy, and especially in this time of of crisis,
Yes.
where we start to ask ourselves a lot of questions, and we don't know what to do. It's the right time to go and buy this book to understand who we are and how we can move forward beyond
Exactly.
this obstacle the obstacle that this pandemic has brought into our life.
Yes.
So thank you very much for everybody to be here, and we're gonna be back on Friday with another impressive lady as well. We're going to have Florence Drummond. Florence Drummond is an Australian. She's an Indigenous Australian, and she's an ambassador for Indigenous women and girls. So she will be our guest on Friday. And she's also an amazing, she's been building a great community and fighting for the right of Aboriginal women in the resource sector, which is male dominated, and also non-indigenous, with very few indigenous people, especially at the highest level. So she has a great story, and we're looking forward to have her here on the Greatness Engineering Hour show. So thanks again, Dr. Leah,
Thank
and
you.
I wish you to have to have a great day,
You
and
too.
we'll stay connected offline anyway. So thank you very much.
Thank you
Bye
very much, Mirella.
bye for now.
Bye.